Hello, my name is David. I'm a graphic designer and I wanted to show you something I thought was cool. I'm also a big Star Wars fan and I was looking at this poster today and I was just really taking it in and going, man, it's such an amazing poster. And I was trying to think also as a designer, like what was it, maybe what is it that's sort of underlying this poster, maybe some kind of structure that draws me in instead of maybe just the fact that it's got beautiful colors and it's got a lot of imagery that I like. Um, and there are a lot of different ways of talking about a visual work of art. One way is talking about it in terms of color and color repetition and harmony. And just to sort of briefly go over that, even though I won't go into too much depth there, this pinkish color here from the blaster is repeated over here in the metal of the blaster and then also back over here in Han Solo's blaster. And if you look at C-3PO's sort of his gold body, that color is sort of repeated here in Chewbacca, and you can see in some of the highlights of Han Solo, and then back over here in the Death Star. But aside from the color, and obviously the color of Darth Vader's lightsaber and sort of this explosion over here, so you get this sort of harmony of color when you repeat color. That's one thing that I think ties the image together. But more from, I guess, a compositional perspective, there seems to be something underlying this, and I wanted to investigate it, and I just figured I'd show you what I found. I don't know if there's anything to it, but we'll see. So the first question I asked is, well, what's the dominant line in this image? If I could just choose one line to draw across the whole thing that I thought was sort of the most obvious, what would it be? So I started here with Darth Vader's lightsaber, and I just drew it down. And as I did, I noticed that the line actually intersected nicely, or aligned nicely, with with Luke's left leg, or his left thigh. I'm just going to make one adjustment here so that you can see it better. I'm going to reduce. I'm going to make this a little bit transparent. And okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this line, and I'm not just going to start drawing lines all over the place. I'm going to see if there's a relationship to this line that I can build off of. So I'm just going to copy and paste on top of that same line, and I'm going to then make a reflection of it. So it's the same angle but opposite. And immediately you start to see some other interesting things. This is lining right up with Darth Vader's helmet and comes down and actually cuts the outside of his right thigh. So continuing along these lines, literally, I'm going to copy and paste and see again if I can build off of a combination of these lines. And what I'll do, just to keep things simple, is see if that rotating at 90 degrees there does anything. And as I do that, something really cool happens. As I move these lines up, you can see that Princess Leia's arm is directly in line with this line and follows down, and this X-Wing fighter, the wings of the X-Wing fighter also align beautifully there. You could see that maybe you can make the argument that this X-Wing fighter over here is sort of in line and flows through, and that it comes and it sort of catches this fleet over here, the TIE fighter, the line of the TIE fighter, close anyway, and this fleet of X-Wing fighters here. So I think that's pretty cool looking. If you just remove the image, you can see that this is just a very basic geometric pattern, and it could be that reverse engineering it like this, there's really nothing to it, but I wouldn't be surprised if these lines were actually put in intentionally. And if I were designing this, I would continue. I would see how much I can exploit this sort of this kind of a starburst formation or geometry. For example, I might draw a line through Princess Leia's blaster and see where it leads. and I might find that that might be a good place. I could scale this TIE fighter, or excuse me, I could scale this X-wing fighter so that it aligns that way. Maybe from her chin, I could draw a line directly from her chin, and decide that Moff Tarkin's head goes down there. Again, I don't know if any of these things are really really explain how the artist created this poster, but I still find it pretty interesting. One last line that I thought was pretty neat was if I continue this line, what's kind of cool is that it goes straight through the eye of the laser in the Death Star. And I don't know, I just found that kind of neat. Again, I don't know if there's really anything to this, but it sure seems like there may be. That is pretty much it.